and welcome. It's Psychic Cynthia here, Spiritual Psychic Cynthia Killian, and welcome. Today I wanted to talk with you for just a minute about something cool and fun that I'm doing relating to the spiritual psychic realm, and especially to my divination development, my own personal divination development, and it's also connected to journaling. And I'm making this video in January of 2021. So, it's the start of a new year and a new cycle, and this is the time when a lot of us think about, new practices we want to bring in, and especially with it being winter, I'm doing more inside stuff right now, so it's a good time for journaling. And I don't know about you, but I keep records, written records. Sometimes, I'm not always the best at it, but I keep like a rune journal. I have a rune journal, a handwritten rune journal of many of the rune readings I've done. So, and here's my current one. I've had several of them actually. And it's actually just a little line journal where I, draw the runes and write down some of my readings, like your head, year ahead, day ahead, whatever. You can see some of this. So, and it's a good idea, if you're learning the runes or anything else, or if you're utilizing the runes or tarot, or even keeping track of signs. Do any of you get signs or dreams, psychic dreams? So journaling is really great for that, and you've probably heard about that. But I don't always have a lot of time to journal. And listen, these aren't journals like long journals about my feelings that I've been doing, but I like to have a journal of some of the signs that I'm receiving from Spirit, or the interesting spiritual experiences that happen in the day. And I really like to have a journal too of if I do a day ahead rune reading. But again, I don't always have a lot of time to write a lot. So what I've been doing this month, and we'll see how long this lasts. It's a fun winter activity, at least. I think come May I'll just be out in the garden, and that will probably be the end of it, but we'll see. So what I've been doing is doing sort of a form of picture journaling, or I think it's called bullet journaling. And if you haven't heard of bullet journaling, well, there's a lot of videos on YouTube about that. You can kind of explore that on your own if you want to know a lot more. But basically, it's a much shorter form of journaling, sort of like list journaling. So what I've been doing to keep track of my rune readings and my tarot readings, and also ceremonies that I've been doing and psychic signs, what I've been doing this month is doing this kind of bullet picture journaling, and I want to show you how I've been doing it in case any of you want to try it too, because I think it might be fun for you. So what I have right here is just a regular planner, and somebody actually gave this to us, and I think what's cool about it is the picture on the front. I mean, it's supposed to be like a fence out in Kansas, but you see it forms the tear rune. So I just knew I had to do something with it. I did not need, necessarily another planner, but I thought, wouldn't this be cool to sort of review my days energetically and the divination reading? So what I've done here, and just starting in January, I have some places where I'm writing down notes and stuff, and that's just traditional, but I want to show you just more of an idea of what I'm doing. So I'm doing it part with pictures, but I'm just writing in the little boxes for the day. I'm just writing about things that have happened spiritually or creatively related, and then also drawing pictures. So here's like a picture of my hand pan drum. And listen, these are really fast, kind of sloppy, free form drawings, and that's exactly, I think, how they need to be if we want to connect in with their intuition. So you're not trying to be like the top artist of the day. So I have a little picture of a little gift that a spiritual friend gave me. He's a little elf, and it's kind of a bad drawing of it, but I don't mind, because again, it's just supposed to be representing, I guess you'd call this representative art. And I have little tiny notes about things that have happened that, not just spiritual psychic signs, sometimes cool miracles, as I call them, or serendipities, that's what I'm talking about here. Very interesting, magical things that happen that I want to record. So just really short little list. You can see a few runes here. So runes that I've drawn there's the Gaz, and here's Esau and Awaz and Berkana. Here's a picture of a tree spirit, because I was tuning into the tree energies outside and seeing spirits on that day. I've even been drawing some symbols of the tarot in here. Last couple of days I've been working with the tarot a little bit more, so I have the Ace of Cups, just a symbol for it, okay? And there's a bear up there in that energy. It's hard to tell because on my deck there's a bear on the Ace of Cups. And here I have the Queen of Wands, which is fire. See if I can get this in a little bit closer. Down here is it's kind of hard to see here, but it's a Celtic cross. What's interesting is, so I didn't notice this till I started doing my bullet journaling. So this is maybe giving an idea of how this could be useful. So I got my cup card that I drew that in the morning, and I've got that, when I say drew it, I drew it from the deck. And then I put it into my bullet journal, my runic, what should I call this, my psychic runic bullet journal. And then I went to see a friend later in the day, a mentor actually, and right around the corner from her house, I noticed there was a sort of Celtic style Episcopalian church, and they had a pretty large Celtic cross out, and it was St. Joseph of Glastonbury, so I drew that in. And then what I realized later, after I kind of drew all this in and wrote that, was that I had just started this week reading a new book that a client gave me. Thank you, John. And the name of that book is The Lost Book of the Grail. And I mean, isn't that what this Ace of Cups is? Ace of Cups is the Grail. And seeing St. Joseph of Glastonbury, well, that has a connection to the Grail. I won't go into that. But yeah, so it's cool. So by doing this journaling here, I was able to realize that the universe is trying to point me in the direction of the Grail, like studying more about those mysteries. So just for example. Anyway, that's what I've been up to. You can also see here I had a fire ritual the other day, and I lit a ceremonial fire in my chimia. So I've got a little picture of the chimia, and oh, there's a little cat around here. She was hanging out with me, and different things. My smudge stick. So listen, I know my drawings aren't like great. Remember, I'm not trying to be a great artist here. I'm just trying to record in pictorial form my ceremonial, psychic, and divination experiences, because it's so easy to look back on this. Now that I have this, as soon as I see the pictures, it's like, bam, I'm back there. And I can get the information, and by information I mean the psychic information, the downloads. I can get it very quickly when I need to refer back to that again. The energy is what I'm saying. So some of you might want to do something like this to help advance your growth, especially in the winter months. It's a good practice to do. One of the things about it too, even if we're just handwriting, you know, little notes in a tiny space, say, there's a different aspect of your brain and your energies that are activated when you write by hand than when you type or even speak. So I encourage all of you to journal a little bit, especially this kind where you're now drawing and maybe making some symbols in there too. And remember, the art doesn't have to be perfect. It's more about the intuitive process of connecting with the inner images. It's your interpretation of the images. Nothing that I've drawn in there, well, maybe with the exception of the runes, because those are easy geometric shapes, but the other stuff, none of it looks exactly like what it represents in the physical world. But that's okay, because it's expressing the energy and emotion that I am feeling when I make the connection to that experience or that card or that object or whatever it is. And it would be the same for you. When you make these drawings, you are connecting back in again with the energy of that moment in time, with the energy of that experience. And you know, it's just a cool thing to do. It's so helpful. It's a wonderful idea to record your magical experiences, your spiritual breakthroughs, your serendipities, your so-called coincidences or synchronicities. Even, you know, images from your dreams. You can record that as well if there's something you want to record. And I like to do it in the smaller space, like I've shown you here. Again, this is just a regular, well, it's a hardcover planner, but there's not a lot of space for writing in. I mean, you could even do it on a calendar, actually, if you wanted to go very small. I think that the planner size is going to be better, though. I mean, just a little bit bigger than the usual size of a calendar, unless it's a big calendar, because it gives you, you know, some space to maneuver in, but not so much that you waste energy on things you don't need to record. So this is about how big. Well, you can see I have some empty boxes on a day here I didn't do it, and that's okay. You don't have to do it every day necessarily. I'm really rocking and rolling and have done it almost all days since I started, but you know, do it a few days a week and see what happens. See if it helps give you more direction in your spiritual growth, in your psychic growth, in your divination practice. I do find that when I keep journals about my spiritual path, and especially my divination practices, you know, signs. Remember, you can write down signs, as in meaningful experiences that happen where you feel the universe is giving you a sign. Like I saw that Celtic cross, and I felt that the universe was giving me a sign at that church by my mentor's house. So you can write down stuff like that too. And when you do that, when you draw a picture of it, especially, I think that helps to make it real for you. That helps you to open to the spiritual energies that the sign is trying to bring to you. And you get better at reading signs that way. You know why you get better at reading signs that way? Because you notice them more. You start to notice them more. And like what happened with me when I noticed that, oh, here's a similarity. I've got this Ace of Cups card I drew in the morning, and then I see the St. Joseph of Glastonbury. And what's the connection? The Holy Grail. The Holy Grail is the connection. So it's giving me a sign about those Grail energies, and I won't go into what all that means because I don't think I know right now, frankly, but I know the direction I'm to be moving in. So again, I think this would be something worthy to do if you are even the least bit journally minded or artsy minded. Alrighty, well that's it. Hope y'all are having a wonderful winter or summer, if it's summer where you're at, and I hope things are going splendid for you in the new year. Until next time, wishing you much happiness, joy, and peace, and bright blessings.